Take 3. This is the 3rd installment of the same 6 Wednesday. I have had to say that over and over and over today making this video because it just wasn't coming out correctly. So down below is the description of everyone who is in this wonderful hop and project that we're working on. There's some great art out there. I started off, I was going to just kind of, this was my first and then my second, and without even realizing it that they were similar, you know, they got the strips and strips and strips and strips. So anyway, that being said, I don't know what difference it makes. I also wrote on there what person was that month and what their items were. So I have my paper that I'm going to work on, and this is the envelope. I just tore it down to use it. These are all from Lisa Conway, and I grabbed a couple things I thought I'd want because I am working in the dining room instead of the art room. So we have this really cool recipe for oatmeal cookies. And it looks like it was some person's little bitty handheld purse notebook. They wrote that down. So I don't know. This lady might have stole it from somebody, you know, just overheard Susie telling Karen what the recipe was. So she wrote it down. That's my story. And we have this gorgeous piece of gold, kind of embossed, metallic gorgeousness. That's got the scalloped edge on the side. And we have a piece of gold paper. Never really worked much with metallics, so this will be kind of fun. And we have 2 images of mushrooms. And I think this will be fun. I'm glad she sent 2 because that's not an image I have, so, you know, I'll have 2 to work with. And this cool Santa Fe System dining station. And I assume this is someone who works for the railroad. This is what they used to go eat when they ate. And this is the ultimate. This is a piece of Braille paper. I don't know if you can see that too well. It's really cool. My first instinct was to cover my whole pages with it. But the selfish part of me came out, and I decided, no, I can't do that because I kind of need to have some of this for another project. So I think what I'm going to do here is, well, I have my paper cutter, but I think I'm going to tear this. And I'm going to tear it just short of the fold. Let's maybe go a little bit there. Okay. So we're going to start off that way. And then I think I'm going to take this. Now I use the straight edge of the ruler. And I'm going to fold this just a little bit. Yeah, I kind of already thought this out. I did the first one, which was my stuff, and wasn't nearly as much fun as everybody else's stuff. And I just did it, and it was like, wow, I don't know about that. So this one I kind of thought out again. And I'm just going to go ahead. I think I want the raggedy edge. I like just torn with a plain ruler too. It just gives you a little bit of prettiness. But I think I want the more ripped edge here. And we know we're not throwing these away. These would get in something somewhere. So I'm going to glue this down right here, and it's going to make it a separate little page in here. But I need to remember to work this way. So I may want to do it here. Let's see. Yeah, because this is how the page is going to fold. This is where I'm going to bind it. And I'm going to glue this here so it flips open. And so we kind of have a 2 double page spreads, sort of. So I'm going to leave that because I know where that's going. Okay? And I've already kind of decided that I want to have that sticking out just barely on that edge, even though it's been torn. But I want to use it in two places. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And this time I will use my paper trimmer. And I think, oh, that's almost 2 inches. So I think I can give myself 3/4 of an inch here. It's kind of funny, my cutter blade was real dull and tearing everything, so I went and bought new ones, and I think it was feeling neglected because now it's working great, so maybe it was user. So I'm going to glue this right here, and I will trim that down, and then I'll glue this here, and that's all I know for right now. But I know that I'm going to have to cut these down because I know they're going to be used. This is going to go in a pocket. I do know that I think I know that I want this right here. Kind of like, so it's matte, it's the matte in a frame kind of look. And I think then that's all I've figured out for sure. So I'm going to grab a couple things and I shall return shortly. Okay, so grab me some background paper to work on so I can ink some edges. And I have walnut stain and I have vintage photo. Not a big fan of the vintage photo because I like it darker. So I'm going to use my little brush here, and I am going to distress the edges, intentionally going on top of the paper a little bit because I want those bumps to show. In fact, I think I'll just kind of let them show all over the place. I'm using a really light touch because I just want to highlight it. Now I'm going to fold this one over so I can get that. Wasn't sure I was ever going to like these brushes, but they're good for some things. Not all things, but I do like them. And I think it still needs to be a little bit darker on the corners. Okay, so we're happy with that. So we're going to take this and we're going to ink all of its edges too. Not maybe as detailed, but definitely the torn edge. I like these brushes because I don't get the lines from the circle, but I did buy the pads that are curved, and that helps not get the lines too. And I think sometimes it gives you a darker this way. And when I get done with this, I will cover it with the brown craft deli paper because that's what I did for all of them, and I'm not really sure why, but I liked it, so my poor little sponge has just been used so much, it's starting to come apart, but I'm going to keep going. So this is our page right now, and I want some texture behind everything. Now I know that this little square is going to go right here, so I'm not going to worry too much about getting it all the way, so I'm just going to put this like this. This is where I really like this brush. And then come down in here, move it over so I can get a little bit here. And I'm not really wanting it completely covered, a little bit of light and dark and some texture, just to add some design elements to the page. Took me a while to decide which one I really thought would look the best. And I'm still not sure if I found it, but I'm okay with this one. As you can tell, it's well loved, still coated in paint. I think they become stronger that way. Okay, so I also grabbed a script stamp, and this one is all ABCs and tiny little letters in rows and rows and rows and rows. So I haven't decided for sure, but I'm thinking this one with the mushrooms kind of has that look that this is a handwritten definition. So I think we'll try that one. I may change my mind. I don't know. And I'm just going to put it around kind of haphazard. Actually, that's way more planned than I intended. But we'll just kind of add a little more texture. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the ABC so it looks less planned. I have to study this, and I have to stamp it over here to make sure that I'm getting it the right way up. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. And I just realized that this is going to be a page, so I kind of needed to do these edges too. So let's get that done. Maybe we can get all the inking done and put it away. Okay, I can be pretty messy. Okay, we're pretty cool with that. So. All right, let's see if we can get this ugly, dirty mess out of there. So we have this, and we know we're going to glue this on here. And I brought in some washi tape so I can figure out one of those. I'm already loving just that. Just that is gorgeous. And we can put this one here. And I tore down one of the pieces of the envelope because I just love the color. And I'm going to put it here. Maybe I'll put it here. That's so precise and perfect. I don't usually do precise and perfect, but for some reason, I'm really liking it. So I could do, I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to start off with gluing this to the yellow square, or golden square, the manila envelope. See, we only have to use 3 of the 6 items. But I like using all 6 because I like the challenge of using all 6. And I know I brought a bone folder. There we go. So burnish that down. And then I'll put some glue on this. And then I'll put that on the gold. I'm trying to center, but you know what? It's okay because it's my book and I love it. We'll go ahead and do a little inking. Just, yeah, I got a little glue there. Just a little bit to kind of take the stark white away. And I don't mind it being on the glue a little bit. I can erase that later. But that's cool. I like that a lot. So now we will glue this here. So let's put some more glue. Yep, brought out several glue sticks to work on this project. I usually work in my studio, but I've had to use the camera where I need space. And this is just where it has to be for now. So I'm going to kind of center that at the top so that these 3 sides are pretty even. and burnish that down. I really like this. In fact, I'm thinking, let's try the vintage photo and get a light bit and stamp it off a little bit. Just a little bit of, yes, yes, perfect, perfect. Okay, so what am I going to do next? I'm going to use the same envelope here, and I'm going to go right inside of there. And it only needs to be about that big. And I'm going to make me a little pocket that goes right here. In fact, it's actually a little too tall. So let's pull a little bit of this off. Excuse me. And then I'm going to take this little strip that I wanted somewhere else, right? And I'm going to glue it to the envelope. Didn't quite glue it far enough, but we can fix that, right? Easy peasy. Okay. Now we're going to trim it off. See, we still have part of the address in there. Okay, so this is going to be, now I have to make the decision. I'm good at getting glue everywhere. Do I want it like this, or do I want it like this? I think I like this, but I think it needs some texture on it too. This time I'm going to use the script again. I like the script a lot. I had another one I wanted to use, but I don't know, it just wasn't, I wasn't finding it anywhere. Somewhere in this house it is. So just a little bit of scribbly there, and maybe we'll take and add a little bit of color to the edges. Just kind of get it all in the same mood, you know. So we got that. Of course, I got too much glue on here, so I've got to make sure that dries. And I will glue this right here. Okay, so we know that. And then, where did you go? Right here. This will go right there. So you'll have to move it to see the mushrooms, but it could go in like this. So that's going there. So we know that. We'll come back to that in a minute when it's had a little more time to dry. And I'm going to lose my head if it wasn't attached. So I'm going to put some glue on this. And just run some glue down this. And put it not quite to the edge, but almost. And burnish it down. I don't want to rub my bumps out of my paper. And because this is just plain, that's where the washi tape is going to come in handy. And I think I'm going to use this one. Hopefully I pulled off enough. Not quite, but it's okay. It'll look coolly awesome. And I don't use a lot of washi tape because it doesn't always adhere. And I should have put some glue on that too, but maybe I'll have to do that later. So this is just going to be a flap. I don't think I'm going to do anything to it because I just really like this. So let's see. Maybe we have this left. And we have another mushroom. And we have this. So I know this is going here. So let's go ahead and put some glue. Good thing I do things kind of messy because I make a mess with the glue already. Just gonna push that down. I want it to just the lace part to hang over. If a little bit of the other does, that's fine too. Burnish that down real well. I'll trim that off. This has got that old, elegant, fun, beautiful. I'm just very happy with this. I think I'll put a little more aging on this page, very lightly, because it's pretty good, but I like the edges to be just a little bit darker, you know? Or at least I think I do. And I'm going to go ahead and do this side because I think I might need to. I'm not sure. Kind of thinking ahead here. So we're going to put this here. And I really hate to glue the whole thing down. And yes, I could tear it, but you know, maybe I want to make these famous oatmeal cookies because I'm sure they're famous. There's just no doubt in my mind that they're famous. So what have we got left? We got the pocket for the other side, and I just have this little piece here and the other measure. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the washi tape, and this way there's two pieces of it in that, and I'm going to put glue on this one because, I mean, this is a good washi tape, and it's pretty darn sticky, and I've not had any problem with it, but the way I want to do this, I think I need to. I don't want it quite straight. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull off another piece. I'm going to flip this one up and put some glue on that. And I'm going to glue that one down too. And now I'm going to use my thumbnail and kind of crease both of those. So now this can lift up, and you can see under there, the secret ingredient for the oatmeal cookies is mushrooms. Okay, so maybe that's a bit far-fetched, but we're going to pretend, okay? Let's see if I can. I see I have still a little bit of the white edge there, so let's see if we can. I cut it with the cutter, but maybe we'll just have torn edges on some of the sides. This is what I really want to do. Get something to hold on to. Yeah, this is what I want. So I think we'll see. Yep, so we're going to start with this. As you can tell, I only had some basic ideas. I'm just kind of throwing this all together and coming up with something. So, and that is amazing. I haven't done this for a while, and I hope that our Same Six Wednesday could last forever. We're halfway through, and I'm hoping maybe I'll get another opportunity to do something like this again, because this has been so stinking much fun. So we're going to go ahead and glue this down, and yes, I have two torn edges and two straight edges because I didn't want to tear into the picture, but I'm gonna make that doable. So I'm going to put this on just a little off kilter there, and then I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to tear this edge and put some glue on it. You can tell when I'm having more fun and knowing what I'm doing because I don't audition anything. So it looks like it's taped down. Let's go ahead and give it a little bitty piece of tape. Just a tiny piece up here. A little added security there. Let's kind of go with that. So it's kind of sitting there. And because we did that, we need to get this edge a little more darker so it shows up. There we go. So I have used all the pieces. Of course, you notice this is crooked, and I did that on purpose. I wanted it crooked. I wanted it to look like it was just thrown in there. And somewhere down the line, I might find another recipe, and I can put them on these if I wanted to. But I really, really, really like this. So let's go ahead and put this pocket down. And I probably should have used a wet glue instead of a stick glue here, but this is what I've got. I may go in after the fact and sew it down, because I love to sew my pockets in because they just seem so much more secure. So put that in. Oh, everything's been inked. So let's just add a little more age to this baby. And let's go ahead and get some dark edges on there. Yeah, I like it. So it will slide down in there, and I'm not putting it all the way in because the glue's probably not dry. So this is super simple, but I think I really like it. But you know what? I am going to go sew this on, and I think I might sew around the edges, and I will be right back. Okay, I went in and I sewed. So this is how it goes in there. I sewed in a couple places. I don't know if it's so much that I like the stitching or if I just like the threads. I really like the threads. So I came in here and I stitched just a little bit right there, just because I'd stitched other places, and then I stitched along this to help secure it just in case, and then I stitched all the way around the pocket and then all the way around it. I will use this craft deli paper and cover the whole thing just like I did on these. This one happened because I needed the brads covered, and the other one happened because I needed to cover stitching. So the pages will be pretty much blank if down the road I want to add something else to this book. I probably won't unless I do another project like this. And I can't believe I'm leaving something blank in there. But you know what? I really like it. And if I wanted to write on it, I probably could. I'd probably make a lot of mistakes with the bumps. But I'm really, really happy with this. So thank you for watching. Make sure you follow the links below and watch everybody else's, because it's all really cool. It's really, really cool. Thanks again. Bye-bye.